Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. Today we are playing Roffle's Renolock on the Wild Mode ladder. Now over the last few weeks, if you've been following my channel, you'll see that GetMeowth's Renolock has been my go-to Renolock. Today I thought I'd try something a bit different. Why am I trying out Roffle's deck? Well, firstly, Roffle is a great Hearthstone player. He writes for HearthstoneTopDecks.com. So sort of very sort of creative, certainly, with putting out decks for people to use. I'd suggest you follow Roffle on Twitter as well. This deck interests me because it has the Emperor in it, and that's what makes it different to the deck that I've been playing over the last few weeks. So why play the Emperor? Well, firstly, the Emperor himself is sort of, well, he has passive taunt on him. People want to kill him as quickly as possible. You can't let the Emperor live for too long, otherwise the discounts get out of control. So people will throw sort of spells into him, they'll make lots of trades just to kill him off. The other reason to play the Emperor is, of course, the discount effect. Getting a discount on a handful of cards is pretty awesome. Think about the combos, the things you can do. So take Reno Jackson at 6, so you get a discount, he now costs 5. Brann Bronzebeard discounted, costing 2, that's 7. Zola the Gorgon discounted, costing 2, that's 9. On turn 9, if you need to, you can Reno, Brann, Zola, and get 2 copies of Reno back to hand. Normally, without the discount, that wouldn't be immediately possible, even with 10 mana, because Reno costing 6, Brann costing 3, that's 9, Zola costing 3, no, that's too expensive. So Reno, Reno plays as a result of the Emperor can be pretty useful. But you've got to find that right situation where you have that handful of cards that really benefits from the Emperor discount, and that's not always possible. But let's start off here against a Shaman. And having to file against a Shaman is pretty awesome. Having Reno against a Shaman is also pretty awesome.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
Because I have a feeling that my face is going to take a bit of a beating in this game. And if he's playing 4 mana 7/7s, well, that beating is going to come very quickly. Now the fact that he can hero power on turn 1, generating something on the board, gives him a massive advantage. Sure, Mistress of Mixtures will kill off his totem, but the chances are he has some way to buff it, maybe, and get a trade in. Which again makes the fact that he can hero power on 1 a big advantage for him. It's very beneficial, and yeah, there's the trade. And the fact that I tap into nothing now means that he can develop on the board, and we're going to be in a bit of trouble. Of course, he doesn't know that I have Reno in hand. He doesn't know I have Defile either. But again, 1 cost hero power, allowing him to generate quite a substantial board here. Now, I have Reno, I have Defile. Is there any reason for me to do anything here? Should I just be waiting for him to hero power and get a 1/1 totem so I can Defile? I'm going to play Brann because Brann here will divert 5 damage away from my face. Why is that important? Well, I have Reno, right? So why sacrifice Brann here? Why don't I just wait? Because there could come a point where I can't board clear, right? And he has a large board, and forced to Reno, I heal to 30. But then he uses his large board to continue whacking my face, and there's nothing I can do. And I'm back to a low health total. So I'm just stalling things out until I have a surefire way to deal with this board. Now, playing a 4/5 here contests his Totem Golem. So presumably he'll trade his Totem Golem into my minion. And that removes 5 attack from the board. That's significant. god. There it is. There's the 4 mana 7/7. So, we removed some pressure from the board, but he put a lot more pressure back onto the board. Now, Dirty Rat. Oh god. Okay, wasn't expecting that. That's really problematic. I was hoping it was going to pull out something very small. No. The aim was to get the 4 mana 7/7 to trade into the rat to buy me a bit more time. That's really awkward. And he's going all face. That would appear to be a mistake. Because look what I can do now. There's a 1 health, a 2 health. Now there will be there is a 3 health, and there are 4 health minions on board. Defile clears board. And unless he can kill me this turn, maybe he can? What's he got in hand? Okay. I was expecting a crackle, potentially, but no. And there we go. Reno Jackson for the win. So because his board isn't particularly threatening here, he's going to struggle to make... he's going to struggle to win this game. He's ignored Reno, which now gives me an opportunity to play Zola. Yeah, there's no coming back from that. He did his best to aggro me down, but when you've got Reno Jackson, you just win. Speaking of winning with Reno, there he is again. Oh look, and Zola joins the party. Okay, so this is either going to be a Renolock mirror or it's going to be cube lock. Or potentially some kind of weird demon lock. Those sort of exist too, but I think at earlier ranks. I think when you're sort of battling between ranks 5 and 1, people sort of play, more or less play, accepted tier 1 decks. So it is the tap game here. See what we can draw that's useful. We have a lot of expensive cards in our hand. And of course, he has the Void Caller. That wasn't very good. Okay. See what comes out. Oh, nothing. Well, that's interesting. The plan was to get something out, maybe a Void Lord, and then play a Doomsayer and hope he couldn't deal with it. So this is suggesting that all of his demons are in his deck and not his hand. Okay. We have to kill that. That cannot be allowed to live. I wonder if this guy is running Possessed Lackey.
I have no time for games.
Oh, no time for games. Okay. We have quite a full hand here, so we have to be playing something every single turn. Oh, that's really annoying. That is really, really annoying. Okay, Sylvanas. What do we do against her? I'm just gonna play stuff. Twisting Nether was a possibility, but I really don't want to use my Twisting Nether here on this board. As troublesome as Sylvanas is, There's going to be a board full of stuff coming down later. Void Lords, Mal'Ganises, and various other things. This is indeed Cube Lock, and he's cubed his Sylvanas. That's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if he can find some kind of a creative way to steal this Void Lord. He'd need to pop the cube, get Sylvanas on board, and then do something with one of the Sylvanases that appear. Let's see what he can do. He's going wide here. That's interesting. Potential for some kind of a Defile play, maybe, if we get Defile. Oh god. Okay. This game just got very interesting. Faceless Manipulator. So usually it's the demons that they cube. But in this case, I guess Sylvanas can be just as bad for us. Okay. Don't know if I should have been trading there. Don't know if there's any point. I guess I didn't want him to injure. I didn't want him to kill off his cubes by trading into the Void Lord. I guess that was the reasoning why. But oh god, 3 Sylvanases and an Emperor and a Void Lord. This is pretty bad for us. This is really, really bad. I guess if there was ever a time to Twisting Nether, but maybe we don't need to. Actually, Defile works out really well here for us. Yeah, that's really, really good. We've finally got rid of the Sylvanas threat, until he plays Enzoth, of course. And then we're sad. The Emperor Discal hasn't done much for us yet, but it may prove useful, because look, we have Brann, we have Zola, and we have Reno in hand. That is a pretty awesome combo to have, if you're looking at fatigue and survivability, of course. But there are 2 Void Lords on the board. If I play Mal'Ganis, then he'll kill it, and then I can play Gul'dan, right? That's a possibility. I'm trying to see what other plays would be useful here. Okay. So we play Mr. I'm a Turtle. Really want to save that Twisting Nether for when he plays his Gul'dan or his Enzoth. We also have Shadow Flame, which is pretty good here. In fact, Shadow Flame should be able to wipe out his board, right? The question is, what's the best way of doing this? Guess we can rat, bring something else out. Oh, that's useful. Shadow Flame that's really good. Have I ordered this correctly? Have I traded correctly? I maybe. Okay. I could have used the silence on a Void Lord to stop some tokens coming down, but the thing is, having loads of Void Walkers on the board is a good thing, right? Because when they die, he plays Gul'dan, hopefully he just brings all of these Void Walkers back to life. So yeah, we want to encourage Void Walkers being summoned on the board. They're actually going to kill my dirty rat though. That's pretty funny. Oh, Skull of the Minari, he is a full-on Q-block. I think we can pull the trigger here on Gul'dan. This is going to create a reasonable amount of pressure. And if he has his own Gul'dan, he'll need to trade his Void Walkers in to create space on the board, and then hopefully he just gets his Void Walkers back. In the meantime, I get Mal'Ganis, I get a Void Lord, and I get buffed up Void Walkers back. This is a pretty sweet deal. Ooh, Voodoo Doll. Interesting. Wants to kill the Mal'Ganis. It's pretty good defile for him. This is pretty good. So I've been eyeing up the Reno Brann Zola combo for fatigue. Actually, thinking about it, Zola on N'Zoth in this game is much better. Much better, because this is all about waves of threats. How many waves of threats can you generate to put your opponent under pressure? So Brann and N'Zoth is just too... Zola and N'Zoth is just too good. If we can play N'Zoth and fit Brann and Zola on the following turn, then it really is game over. But that depends on how much space we can generate on board. Okay. Despicable Dreadlord here, pretty decent. I mean, at this rate, we may not even need the pressure from N'Zoth. I mean, look, he's at 12. I have a hero power that deals 3. He's tapping, and he's in fatigue. Okay, still sitting at 10 health. That's not good for him. Could have played the Mountain Giant, but this is just so much better.
Nicely done.
This is just so much better. And there it is. There's Gul'dan. Okay. Can we still kill him? So, what do we do here? I'm eyeing up Zola, I'm eyeing up Brann. Yeah, this is just too good. Right, look at this. 2 N'Zoths in hand. And if I was him now, I'd just concede. Why bother carrying on?
Excuse me.
And you know what? I just thought, screw it. Let's just remove everything. Right? Let's just remove everything.
I must feed now.
And we'll do that for good measure. But yeah, let's just remove everything. We've taken down his Void Lords. He's going to be left with nothing on the board. Unless the Void Caller brings something out from hand. Were there better ways to play that last turn? Maybe. Perhaps. But as I say, screw it. Remove everything. And start afresh on the following turn. He has 2 cards left in hand. He's so screwed. Because I'm going to play my N'Zoth again next turn. And that's me with the initiative. So whatever he does, he's still pretty much screwed. I have Twisting Nether in hand. So nothing he can do could hurt me. With 2 cards in hand. Oh, that's very, very clever. Very clever, but I somehow don't think it's going to be enough. Playing Kazakus over Enzoth here just seems so much more fun. And if you want to be clever, Sylvanas
No time for games.
creates a bit of a conundrum for him. And meanwhile, he's taking a ridiculous amount of fatigue damage here. It's adding up. Oh, he thinks he's clever with Faceless Manipulator. Huh. Well, we can steal one of those cubes. I knew I kept the silence back for a reason. And this is it.
Your magic shall not save.
Let none survive.
Thank you very much. And now he has nothing. Nothing but fatigue damage. That was a really sweet win. We didn't even need Rena Jackson in this game. How crazy is that? Okay, so Roffle's Renolock with the Emperor. Yeah, the Emperor's done some reasonable work for me in terms of discount, particularly in terms of discounting Reno and Brann and Zola. That's been its primary use for me. That's been beneficial. There are probably other things in this deck that you would want to discount. Perhaps, let's say, the potential of discounting Brann and Kazakus and Zola. Maybe that's helpful too. But yeah. Is the Emperor game-defining or game-breaking in this deck? Probably not. I mean, I remember back in the day when you had sort of combo lock or OTK lock, whatever you wanted to call it, but, you know, you'd have Leroy Jenkins, you'd have Power Overwhelmings, Faceless Manipulators, and you'd discount all of those things with the Emperor and then go face. That's where the Emperor really shined and was essential, in essence. Is he as essential in a deck like this? Probably not, but hey, the value that he can give you is still pretty cool, right? Another card that I'm a massive fan of is Corrupting Mist. I know some of you guys are not big fans of it, but it's done so much work for me. For a 2-cost card that essentially reads cast and remove the board. Sure, you take the damage the following turn, but then their minions die. And in terms of just removing even 1 or 2 big minions, that can be game defining or game breaking. So yeah, Corrupting Mist, I'm a big fan of now. What else about this deck is really, really interesting to me? Well, you know, the Brann Kazakus plays have been phenomenal against Big Priest, and I hate Big Priest. I hate playing it because I never get Barnes on turn 4. I hate playing against it because it always crush me. But yes, Brann Kazakus plays. Kazakus in particular, getting him early, getting a 5-cost spell that does polymorph effect, that is pretty awesome, and it's one of the ways that you do beat Big Priest. But let's say if you do survive into the late game, Brann Kazakus into 2 10-cost spells with the polymorph effect, the Mystic Wool effect. I think is it Mystic Sheep or Mystic Wool? I think it's Mystic Wool. That is also game defining. So all in all, this deck is brilliant, and thank you very much to Roffle for suggesting the deck. Lord Godfrey, not to be underestimated either. That's another board clear in this deck. So all in all, I mean, what you can see is there's a lot of versatility. And one final point, I know I'm rambling now, one final point, combo decks, combo druid. There's a lot of druids on the ladder. The GetMeowth deck that I've been playing over the last few weeks had Dirty Rat in it as well. And Dirty Rat, well, I mean, if you played at the right time, just wrecked combo decks. You tend to wait towards the end of the game, right before they pull off that combo, you play the Rat, ruin their day. Gnome Ferratu is in this deck, and I guess it's just another way of hurting combo decks. So if you're facing lots of combo decks on the ladder, Gnome can just also help the rat to ruin their day. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun.